What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a team that I ran at the beginning of the season of Dual Destiny here in the new Go Battle League season, whatever you want to call it at this point. It's new season, new update, whatever. Anyway, I wanted to focus in on part of the update that I think is being overlooked, and I really do think that Fang is genuinely being overlooked in this meta at the moment. And really what I think is the biggest winner of the Fang update is going to be Steelix. Steelix, I ran on the safe swap with this team, and it just cooked. Now, Arcanine, look, Arcanine is my favorite Kanto Pokemon, hands down, no question. I had to try it. I had to run it, see how it worked. Maybe Fang is better. I don't have a Shadow, right? So maybe it's not the optimal way to run it. But in order to pair with these two, I wanted something that was going to do very well because against ground, because this is what the team is made to do. Is Steelix is made to be on the safe swap to draw out the ground types, where Arcanine is going to be able to hopefully sweep unopposed by ground types. Chestnut's there to pressure the opponent to make sure they want to bring in ground types. And let's get into the games here, because there were some pretty exciting games. First game here is going to be against Vaporeon. Yes, it's day one. There's going to be some spice. Also, I'm messing with my volume. Please let me know in the comments. There's been some recent comments about the music loud. Let me know if it's better in this video. I did try to adjust some things to try and make it more tolerable for the masses. So opponent bringing in an Emboar, and at this point I'm like, okay, this is somebody who's just kind of running whatever they have. Their Pokemon are fully powered up. I bring in my Arcanine here thinking it has Fang, but for some reason I forgot to TM it, and it still has Fire. So rip me. I'm gonna let it go at this point. I feel like Chestnut and Steelix are probably more than enough to handle it. We live with 1 HP, but I don't have the Wild Charge loaded, so I am going to go ahead and just let the Arcanine go, and I'm just going to put my faith into my Chestnut here, as Chestnut's a really strong core breaker still in this meta. Even though there has been some updates in the Dual Destiny update, most of the meta is going to remain intact. Chestnut still, and that is not a Shadow Chestnut, by the way. Man, imagine Shadow Chestnut. Chestnut is just incredibly strong, able to really, you know, just destroy the Dunsparce, the Mud Boys. There's a lot of core pieces of this meta that Chestnut's really good into, and I like. So, yes, a little bit of a throwaway game, having a little bit of fun here in the beginning of the season. I respect the trainers who do decide to, you know what, run whatever you got, because just have fun. That's all this game is about. Have fun. Next team, we have Amanda Buzz. A little bit more meta on the lead here. I'm going to swap into my Steelix. The opponent now is going to answer me with a Primeape. So this is a team that looks like it's going to be a little bit more meta, difficult to play against. To be a team that looks like so far it's completely hard countered mine. But watch Steelix. I want you to watch and pay attention to in this matchup. We're immediately getting shields. If the opponent ever no shields that first Psychic Fangs, you can pretty much farm it down and win switch too. Also, just worth noting, in general, Fang is probably not the best. It can be. It depends. Dragon Tail is still very strong on Steelix. But we are able to get both shields for pretty much nothing here. My opponent is double boosted, and I kind of forget that they're double boosted. And they just, boom, knock out me. Poor Chestnut with a close combat. And now it's going to be all up to my Arcanine here. The opponent, however, brings in Toxapex, and I've since fixed my issue with Fang, and I've changed it to Fang. Look at the Toxapex just getting ripped apart. Fang, along with the other Fang and Ice Fang, all gaining 6 energy per move here. The same, I don't think it's the counter. It might be. I think it's the same as counter, to be honest here. Wild Charge. Boom! Knocking out the Toxapex here. And we're going to be able to go for another Wild Charge into this Mandibuzz. We still have a shield to be able to take care of the opponent. The Wild Charge almost knocks them out. And the opponent goes immediately for a move here, not wanting to try to throw a fast move here. Aerial Ace going to get the shield from us here. And we're going to be able to fully farm down this Mandibuzz before they're able to take us out. Pretty good game. Well played. Arcanine, if set up correctly with either Fang, honestly, and in this case, it would have done much better with Fang. But this case, Fang is, you know, both give it the opportunity to really sweep. Now, my opponent hard counters me in the lead against my Chestnut, completely walls my Chestnut with Venusaur, and they're going to answer me with a Whiscash on my counter swap into my safe swaps. So it's already looking really bad. I'm going to go for Crunch here because Psychic Fangs is not going to do me a whole lot. Honestly, nothing I do with Steelix here is going to do me a whole lot. The good news is, though, is that Whiscash is pretty uncommon in general in the meta right now. I am going to give up no shields here. I'm going to give all this farm to my Chestnut, hopefully, and at least try to do some damage back to this Venusaur. The opponent is going to go for a swap in here, and they're going to bring in the Pelipper. This looks like a good farm opportunity potentially for Arcanine. Maybe I can get some Psychic Fangs in to deal with the Venusaur or deal with Whiscash. As Psychic Fangs from Arcanine still hurts. It's still Arcanine. This thing is incredibly attack weighted, able to just rip apart a Pelipper like that, no problem. And the opponent's going to come in with the Whiscash. We do have a CMP tie, cap tie here on the Psychic Fangs. We're going to be able to win that, throw the Psychic Fangs, get the final shield from the opponent, and if I can just make it to more Psychic Fangs, I think I might even have a chance here. The opponent has too much energy, though, unfortunately. We are completely hard countered, pretty much back to front here, unfortunately, with that Pelipper and the back being the only weak spot to this opponent's team. They're going to be able to take this one. I'm not even going to play. Next game, we get a Primeape on the lead here. Pretty neutral for the Chestnut, but obviously we all know that Primeape can just ramp right up. Now, I don't know if this thing has Karate Chop. It's hard to tell with the way that they're gaining energy. I'm going to go ahead and shield here in case it is actually the close combat, and I'm going to go for the double superpower here, trying to get both off of the opponent's Primeape if I can. A little bit of lag here, it looks like, going for the back-to-back moves. And, like, I see that little, like, whoosh, that little U-shaped motion, that animation, and that makes me think that maybe they're on low sweep. I'm not sure. Karate Chop is definitely the move you want to have, but I get met with another freaking Whiscash here, and I don't know, man. They have Water Gun, and y'all know I am not like one of those people that's like, oh my god, algorithm, like stuff like that. There's no team building algorithm that's set against me. It's just people running whatever they have. It's a purified Whiscash with Water Gun. Like, it is what it is, man. People are going to have this stuff. Opponent comes in with the Kanto Ninetales that they had hidden in the back. And my Steelix is not having a good time right now. Throw the superpower a little too early there, allowing the opponent to get that extra farm and some extra damage in on my Chestnut. And I don't really know how I'm supposed to win the game. The opponent basically has me dead to rights here. These weather balls are just ripping through my Steelix. I have to shield this one in order to get anything out of my Steelix. In hindsight, the only play that I really could have done here was go for a Psychic sooner. Personally, I was trying to get Psychic Fangs plus a Crunch. That would hope. So in this particular game, I know that I'm not going to get to that Psychic Fangs, unfortunately. When it's going to be another Weather Ball, so I do have to throw here. Very narrowly letting them live that. They're going to farm down. Chestnut's going to go down to a Weather Ball. I'm giving up, man. There's nothing I can do. Well played. Hoping for some redemption in the next game. This whole team has a good amount of play into Feraligatr here, and the opponent immediately switches into Ariados. I'm going to bring in my Steelix. We are double resisting the Poison Stings, and Psychic Fangs will do a fair amount of damage, plus the Thunder Fangs. I'm just, like, if you put Steelix in a good matchup, it will just steamroll through things with Thunder Fang. This thing is absolutely obscene with the amount of damage that it can put out. Like, we can just fully farm down this Ariados if we want to, and I think that's kind of what I'm going to need here. I do lose a little bit of count on the Ariados. I do throw a little bit sooner here, thinking that I might not be able to make it, because I know that they had a couple of Poison Stings before I swapped in. Lost count is what it is. Opponent throws the move right away, so it's a good thing that I did throw here, but I'm going to let this go. I think I can survive a Trailblaze just barely. The opponent goes for Lunge, and then they bring in the Drift Bloom, and I'm not able to get the move. Feels bad. Arcanine up a shield here, though. Going to be my hero, as I'm going to come in with it and try to get a lot of Thunder Fang damage off. Thunder Fang is just, it's really mostly good on Steelix. I think Arcanine, I think we could definitely say either Fire Fang or Thunder Fang, depending on the role that you want it to play in your team. But I run it with Thunder Fang because I was thinking I can use either one as a safe switch to draw out a water type that maybe isn't a ground. Now, in hindsight, yeah, ground is going to kind of have its way with this team, but we have a double debuffed Wild Charge. How much does this do to Shadow Feraligatr? Let's find out. Almost all of it. We're going to come in with the Chestnut. Opponent is not able to make an Ice Beam here before they're going to get farmed down, so they're forced to throw their energy. It is just the Hydro Cannon. And what's in the back? It's going to be that Ariados. We can simply go for the Frenzy Plant, and that's going to take out the Ariados. The poor little Spooter that could. Good game to the opponent here. Shiny Flex. Love that Shiny. And we're taking a 3-2 in the first set here. Nothing too notable. We did get completely hard countered in 2 games. So speaking of get hard countered, yeah, this whole team kind of loses to Dragonite. But I'm going to go into Steelix here. Since we don't have Dragon Tail, we are only doing neutral damage to the Dragonite. And I'm thinking, okay, well, at least I can shield this. Maybe we've put it close to superpower range for later. Opponent's going to come in with Clothfire, and I'm just kind of sad because my Thunder Fangs are completely here. If I had Dragon Tail, I'd be in a much better position because of the fact that I could just do some not resisted fast move damage and go for these Psychic Fangs. Earthquake is never going to one-shot from this range on Steelix. They do need 2 Earthquakes to cleanly KO here. And the Poison Stings do pretty much nothing. Earthquake is, yeah, it's not threatening. I'm going to come in with Chestnut here, hoping that maybe they don't have Stone Edge. Or maybe they only have Stone Edge. I'm going to try to go for this Frenzy Plant and knock out this Clodsire, because really, Clodsire is a bit of a pain for this for my rest of my team here. I'm going to go for the Frenzy Plant, look to try and get rid of this thing, and see if I can't get a superpower off, get a shield away from the Dragonite. Opponent does come back in with the Dragonite. I'm looking for the double superpower, but the Dragon Breaths take me out, unfortunately, before I can even get to 1. I should have probably just thrown right there, yes, but I really wanted the back-to-back. I was kind of hoping for it, but that was really my only chance to win this game, because Arcanine, unfortunately, is going to need the shield to knock out the Dragonite. Now, that's really a lot of damage on Thunderfang. Really did not expect it to do as much as it is. But the Dragon Claw is going to take us out, and honestly, I'm going to be honest, like, if we had the opportunity to get that Dragonite out of the game, we could have won. But well played to the opponent. Next game, we're going to have Corsola up. It is a ghost type into a fighting type, but since our primary source of damage is going to be through this Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant combination, we're going to be going for the Frenzy Plant before they can get to that Nightshade, and then look to swap into the Steelix here after they let it go in order to try and absorb this energy. Nightshade is super, not stab damage from Corsola. It's going to do a little bit of damage here, but it's never going to be able to truly do it enough. And the opponent now is going to come in with they're just primed with a Psychic, ready to go here. Opponent lets that go, and now you can just see what happens. These Thunder Fangs just shredding through the Primeape. And I've seen how much a Rage Fist does before. I know that I can live this. I'm going to let it go. The opponent is now going to be forced to shield or lose their Primeape, and at this point, I could even consider coming in with Chestnut, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Look for this farm down. Not going to get it, unfortunately. Opponent might be at the close combat. I'm saving 2 shields. They have Ice Punch. I'm saving 2 shields for Arcanine. Screw it. What else? What else could go wrong at this point, right? We could just go for the Arcanine farm down here. Look to try and get sweep with Arcanine, the big boy, the best boy, going in with the Corsola. The opponent coming in with their weakened Corsola here. We're going to be able to farm down if they stay in. Opponent's at that Nightshade, but they go for the Power Gem. They are a little bit more expensive on energy, and that means that we can farm down. The opponent has the Alolan Sandslash. Now, if we had XehrFang, that would be pretty disgusting amounts of damage being put out, but we have Wild Charge. 2 Wild Charges here, 1 to get the shield, 1 for the row here before. When it really isn't going to have a whole lot of play at this point because they are on Ice Punch. We don't quite knock out. And if Fire Fang was the case, maybe, but we're still able to take that game. Well played to the opponent. Next game up, Chestnut into another Mandibuzz. I don't like this. I'm switching immediately into the Steelix here. See what the opponent brings in. Opponent staying in for a bit. Then they come in with Licky Licky. We're double resisting these rollouts, and that's a pretty good sign. Now, I just need to make sure that I don't tank an Earthquake here, because if I do, that would be bad. So, opponent going for 5 rollouts and throwing their move. That means I'm going to go ahead and shield just in case it's the Earthquake. The opponent throws Shadow Ball. That means that they may not have Earthquake. I'm going to go for the Crunch now that their defense has been debuffed. If I can win Switch Advantage here or somehow get a shield and then win Switch Advantage, I think I'm in a pretty good spot. But saving my Steelix to be this healthy can still really rip through them. Opponent's basically going to be forced to show me their third here instead of coming back in with the Mandibuzz. And if they come back in with the Mandibuzz, I'm pretty good here. But the opponent comes in with their Starmie, one of my favorite picks. Spoiler alert, tomorrow's video is going to be Starmie. It's so good right now. Starmie is going to shield up that Crunch. Look at how much damage those Thunder Fangs are doing, bro. They just, oh. Surf is going to knock out our Steelix. We do have the shields that we need. I'm not going to bring in my Chestnut yet because it would take super effective damage from the Psy Waves. And I'm actually going to get the full farm down. Opponent did throw that Surf pretty much as soon as they got it. I'm going to see if I can't take a move here. The opponent may go for Aerial Ace because they know our squishy, but they Dark Pulse defending it. Going to go for an over farm. I'm looking for double Wild Charge, but I don't want alignment, debuff my defense, and unfortunately that means I'm not going to be able to get 2 Wild Charges off here. They go down with the move loaded. Now we're going to need to see, is Chestnut able to pull off a victory here with the superpower? I have not played Chestnut very much at all. I just recently put Frenzy Plant on this Chestnut, literally 2 days ago, if not yesterday. So I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. I don't know how much damage this is going to do. We're going to find out. I'm either losing this game or I'm going to be able to take it with the superpower. 1 HP, but the Vine Whip knocks out. Very close. Well played to the opponent. Going to be able to win that despite the mistake with the Wild Charge. Getting a fantastic lead in this next game with a Dunsparce, and the opponent is staying in. This is the dream right here. We're going to be able to abuse this thing for energy because we can just go for as much overfarm as we want and then be able to go for Frenzy Plant, superpowers, whatever we need here. And the opponent decides to swap in here and try to catch a move on their Drifblim, but I'm going straight for the Arcanine. Now, in hindsight, probably should have come in with Steelix because we do have some bulk. And I knew this was an Icy Wind, but I didn't want the opponent to be able to Icy Wind and Astonish. So we're going to go for the Psychic Fangs here, try to debuff the defense in kind here. Going to be able to get the shield from the opponent as they do seem to want Switch. And at that point, if they want Switch, I'm going to take it. Even though I have to go down a shield again. Hindsight, I would have probably come in with Steelix here for sure. Would have been a lot better of a matchup. But I am still going to be able to maintain a really nice switch advantage here. I would rather not put Sparse against Steelix. It's not a terrible matchup for Steelix, but I don't want to be taking those super effective drill runs if I don't have to. Opponents going for their charge move, just throwing energy, and unfortunately, we also get the knock here because the game is a piece of doo-doo. We're going to go for the Frenzy Plant here. Opponent is going to be forced to either let their Dunsparce go or put up a shield here, and they do shield. That means they're probably weak in the back to this Chestnut. Going for the next Frenzy Plant here, looking to get this knockout, and the opponent has an Azumarill in the back, and I'm going to go for the Frenzy Plant, which is the right thing. What I really should have done was just show off Steelix, because Steelix actually does very, very well in this matchup, but since we want to feature Thunderfangs, we're just going to go ahead, come in with Steelix and let it finish the job here. But in general, one of the things that Steelix picks up very nicely here that it couldn't have before is the Azumarill matchup. So that's jumping into our final game here. We're going to have Chestnut and a Drapion. Terrible lead here, depending on what the opponent has for charge moves. Could have Sludge Bomb, could have Aqua Tail. And the fact that they go for Crunch here does tell me they probably have the Sludge Bomb Crunch moveset. So Arcanine's safer here, but the opponent is going to stay in and try to go for some charge moves. And they look to catch a move on an Oranguru. Not going to fall for it. I'm over farming because I was kind of expecting them to switch at some point. They're going to have to tank a Crunch or two on this Oranguru. We're going to be able to get a shield or take switch advantage here. And I would really prefer to keep Chestnut away from their Drapion if I can help it. And the opponent puts up a shield here. They have no way of taking my Steelix out here. Brutal Swing, Trailblaze, none of it really makes a difference here. We are going to be able to go for a Crunch and either knock out or get the shield here. Quite honestly, I was thinking about going for the Psychic Fangs, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough. Psychic Fangs is pretty underwhelming. I could probably get Switch here if I want it, but I'm not going to. Instead, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come in with my Arcanine. I realize I have 2 shields up here, and I could also just Wild Charge the Drapion. Get it out of the game. It's going to come in with that Drapion, and we're going to shield up the charge move here. I'm also pretty sure that they're getting close to superpower range. The opponent comes in with a Clodsire. Yeah, this isn't so great. We're going to go for the Psychic Fangs here. The opponent is going to end up taking more damage from these Frenzy Plants now as a result, but I'm going to be outpaced here. Excuse me, to this next move. The opponent throws the Earthquake, which tells me they probably have Stone Edge. And so in that case, I'm going to be going for nearly double Frenzy Plant. I'm going up to what I think is their next move. Could be a Stone Edge, doesn't matter. I'm going to go for the Frenzy Plant, nearly knock them out. But they go for a charge move here. CMP tie, this is fine. I'll let this go, very fine. But they do have Sludge Bomb, and if you're in this situation, you should definitely want to go for Sludge Bomb into Chestnut. It does do the super effective, but we're going to be able to farm down with a double resisted Thunderfangs, hit this Wild Charge off with the Arcanine, and sweep the team. Drapion going down, Arcanine taking this one. Very well played to these opponents. Arcanine was a lot of fun, but really, once again, I think that Steelix truly does shine here as the primary beneficiary of this Thunderfang buff. That's going to do it for me for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to showing off Starmie in tomorrow's video, because really, I just played a few sets with that thing while I could. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to play Starmie this season. I can't even tell you guys. This thing looks so much fun. Oh, just strap in. Just, oh. Anyway, that's going to do it for me for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.